Hello everyone, as I said before in the video before in the deck profile, I had a few replays from Yu-Gi-Oh! Mega from my testing that I wanted to show you guys how this deck is a lot more powerful than people give it credit to. I think the only decks this deck might struggle against is Radiant Typhoon and Dragotil if you go second. If you go first, uninterrupted, you're more than likely are gonna win. Because people aren't going to have this deck on their radar for the moment, and I think this beats any other deck. Like if you go against any other deck in the format, like Pyramid Tsurugi, Yummy, if people are still playing it, Malice if you're into it, like you're gonna have a fine time. Like this deck, yes, the deck is engine. It's really good at going second and breaking boards, and if you add a few hand traps like, you know, Ash, Ghost Spell, sometimes like just one hand trap throws off the opponent's combo and makes them end on the not optimal board. And just with that, you can just break boards. Like let's take this is against Dragotil, so we'll see how this works. Like they start with Brand New Fusion, I Ash it. And then here they're just gonna end on a typical Dragotil board. As we can see here, they just go into the regular combo. I'll let them get through that. I think if we had a Ghost Spell, I could have stopped them from getting the Femina, and that would have really hurt them as well. Though I had no way to fuse on my turn. Then yeah, they go Femina, fuse into Urgala, then set 1. I think they had the Sting in hand. And I don't know why they set the Rahu. They should have just not activated the Lucius or something. Okay, they go end phase. I draw for turn. I draw another Ash, which is insane. This helps me contest one of the traps. I go Albaz. And they go Sting, banish my Titanic Lad, which is interesting. But I guess they wanted to pop my Albaz. If I diffuse them in Chaos, try to pop the back row. They'll contest another back row, and like all they have is the Rahu and the Nib. Like I don't know why they nibbed here. Just like they could have tried to wait in this until I went to end of main phase. They should have let me commit more, and then maybe they would have been better off. But like this is really bad nib. I don't know why they didn't be there. Maybe they thought I could synchro into like something, even though none of them are tuners, or like Link, even though I'm fusion and synchro locked at the moment. But we'll see. I go Branded Fusion. Just go the regular combo. You know, Libellion, discard. Then I place the Lost. I go Battle Phase. I attack for 25 and 3000. So then I have this Ash, which really helps for his follow up. I can stop his Rahu and stuff. Then I set back. I set the Retribution here. Just like I said in the profile, this card is insane against Dragotil. And like it's just good against most decks, but especially against Dragotil, you can just negate the Rahu, their Ketu, or their is Rahu. Rahu is one activation per turn, but it's not like Brand New Fusion where you have easy ways to get it back, unless you draw 2. And then they have all 3 traps in the grave, like no way to recycle them. No, I'm not sure about Ketu. It's probably the same. You can actually activate once per turn. Have this from my Mirror Jade. Keep on going. I Retribution. I think they scoop it up here. They only have 2 cards. And yep. So yeah, as you can see, like even going second, like just the one Ash Blossom made it to where they couldn't amass resources enough to like where now going into the board is a pure Dragotil board, you can beat them. Like so, like if you can keep them off Brand New Fusion, keep them off the Albaz, and then you just go pure Dragotil board, you can beat that with just the engine, as you guys can see. I didn't even have to use the Ash I drew for turn, which could have contested one of the traps. So for what the next replay I'm going to show is against Orcust. This is just pure Orcust, which isn't the best deck, but we're going second here. And yes, I just want to show how use one hand trap can help you to beat any deck. So we go Ghost Spell against the Galatea. I'm like, okay, this is probably the best place to Ghost Spell here. And they don't end on the most oppressive board, it's just the trap, which is negates activation. So you can, if they negate Brand New Fusion with this, you can just activate it again if you have a way to get to the second one, or take it back to the first one. So then yeah, they ascend, they go to Dingirsu, make IP, they pass. That's really like 1, 2, 3, not too many interruptions. And one thing you gotta remember against this deck if you play against it, if you summon Albaz, Albaz effect diffuse, they take it, you can still fuse. Like, it doesn't matter that they took it, you just need to fuse with Albaz and one monster on their field. So you resolve the effect, you fuse, and that's happened to me a lot on Master Duel when I've been playing. It hasn't happened to me in real life because I barely played against this deck. That's the thing to keep in mind in case they see. So they negate that, I'm like, okay, that's perfect. I send summon Albaz. He goes and takes this Albaz, which I don't know why. Then I clear to summon the OG Albaz to fuse. Then here they link into the Gorgon, which I'm like, okay, that's fine. I use her effect to I use Ecclesia's effect in the grave to out the Babel, because this card, if you take this card away from them, like, it turns off all their interaction in the graveyard. That's the main thing you want to try to get rid of. So nice, go Looper, add Branded Fusion, go down the Branded Fusion line. There's a funny thing that I do here, which you'll see. I go into Mirror Jade. I then here, since he still has my Albaz, I can use Contact Fuse after I banish into Alba Lanitas. And then I didn't know that, let's see. It says, if a card you control destroy battle card effect, you can touch one trigger from this card instead. So this, going into Alba Lanitas here, helped me actually clear the whole board. So I attacked, and then he used that effect to protect. As you can see here, he protects. I'm like, okay. I attack, and then I attack into Mirror Jade. I should attack that just for the 5 extra damage, but it's fine. I attribute him, because he's a Dark Dragon for Lebellion. Then I get to add all the follow-up. And I place the Retribution again. Because at this point, he has 2 cards. He does have some plays in the graveyard, like he can bring this back, banish this, and all this different stuff. Like Retribution is a counter type, you can respond to it. It recycles your fusions, and like it's a hard negate for some. And then I bring out Ecclesia with a Titanic Lead, and I send Retribution just to have, or High Spirits just to have another card in hand. So he summons Harper, I Retribution, the Galatea, and that's a game I think, because he has nothing else. He summons this guy back, then he scoops. I guess he had no other plays. So yeah, like, so just the 1 ghost spell, plus Engine, I was able to beat that whole board and beat them like it probably. So in this next match, I want to showcase why I don't like the Dragotail deck with the Fallen of White stuff. If I were to play Dragotail Branded, it'd be like more of a pile version, like basically the list I have on the channel that I got the 2nd place at the LTS. I just probably put in Ecclesia and Fallen of White, and just play that list. Maybe like take out some bricks and throw in some more hand traps. But like, if the list that people are gonna play with, like, you know, just Dragotail plus the 3 Fallen of White and Ecclesia. Basically they're running it as an engine just to get to Ecclesia for another, because the 2 less Malulu, 2 less Ketu, you have to replace it. But I don't think it's good, because that deck is bricky. You're running 3 traps that are bricks. They don't really help you. Like, sure, I'm running a few bricks in this deck. Like Retribution, you can actually do stuff with it. You can discard it to the grave with like an opening, or like something else, and like, you know, send Branded Fusion with Shrouded and get it back, and you have combo. As opposed to the Dragotail traps, you just set them and pass, like if you draw 3. So we'll see here. My opponent is summons Cartegious, that's 1. I'm like, okay. He probably bricked on like cantrips and stuff. So I destroy, he goes Sting. I don't know why. That was like the worst thing ever. He goes Fu, I'm like, I had the call by, which is just disastrous. He goes Ash, I'm like, sure. Summon Cartesia. I fuse, do I fuse? Yeah. Fuse with the Christia. Send the Albion, shuffle back. Hey, what did I... Oh yeah, I put the Cartesia back, Ecclesia back in the deck. That's why. I just wanted to put her back in the deck. So Fallen White, and then he's just left on one card. I'm like, what can you do? I bring back the Christia, and then that's just GG's. So yeah, he probably didn't have any plays either. So like, he has bricked on hand traps and a Ecclesia, like. So that's why I'm not gonna play this. I think this is, the pure branded is better, and like, Fallen White just becomes so much better in the pure branded build. So for the last replay, this is an interesting deck that I went up against. I was not expecting this. I just went fusion combo since I didn't draw any access to the Fallen of White. So you go branded fusion. You always do the fusion line. This is why running, like, I think it's important to run the Bellion and all that stuff in branded loss, because there's going to be games where you only have access to the fusion line, and like, you still want to do that, like the regular fusion combos, so you have to. It's nice to run the extra bricks, quote unquote bricks, because they're pseudo bricks in my opinion. Because like, branded lost is a brick by itself, but let's say if you drop branded lost with like fusion or something, it becomes infinitely better. And like, this card going second is insane. So let's see, yeah, we go use a full combo. So then he goes Salesman, calls Quem. I'm like, sure, okay. So he goes, he starts going Sky Striker combo. I'm like, okay, maybe he's playing Sky Striker. Vanishes, then he goes Marshmallow. See, the Retribution comes up again, because it's completely cuts him off of Yummy combo. And then I see, oh shoot, Pydra. I'm like, Tenpai. I'm like, oh shoot, I'm kinda cooked. So I try to fuse. I fuse into Albalenitus. I add Fallen of White for follow up. Goes Battle Phase, you go Kaiman. I'm like, shoot, he has the Kaiman in hand now, so I'm like, dang it, why? It's like the typical Tenpai player always has the one of. Then like, he starts attacking me, destroying everything. I go into him. I go do Lulu, but he summons this, so I can't activate anything. So it's just my guys to attack. I think he tries to at one point he tried to destroy my, right here he tries to destroy Albalenitus, but I banished the opening. He attacks me twice, and I'm left on 14, and then I just have all the follow-up. In the end phase, I get to add everything back. The Cartesia, the Lulu summons the Ecclesia. I draw for 10, and he scoops here, I think, because he knows he has no way to stop me. So like, that's why, like, let's say like the Retribution and all that stuff, sometimes like going first, I prefer to set Retribution over Fallen the Virtuous, because there's times like this, like maybe Fallen the Virtuous could have been useful here. He summons Yummy, I pop it, and then it does the same thing, but like, and then I would have like Rimbrum, but it depends on, like, once you go into game 2 and 3, you can have a better idea what to set. But yeah, like I said, I think people are severely underestimating this deck. Like, people are saying, oh, this is not as good as like Kaylin Vanquish Soul, or like Pure Mitsu, or like Mitsu Fiendsmith, which might be a deck. But in my opinion, I think if this isn't the best deck, it's definitely like second or third behind like Dragotail or the Radiant Typhoon deck. So like, if this deck starts topping regionals, or like even tops the YCS, like, I said it first. So if you guys liked the video, just leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.